Your appearance?
Good evening, Leslie Acat, we have been silent.
All right, I read the motion, so I'll be happy if you guys want to give an opening or you want to just go right into the testimony, whatever you want to do.
Get ready for the testimony.
So you waive your right to a opening statement?
Yes.
And you do?
Wait.
Call your first witness.
Corporal Dana.
So I don't have any in-car video.
Correct, sir.
Come on up here. I thought that was under the impression. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you got.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may proceed.
Your full name for the record, sir?
Corporal Dane Hunter,
And how are you employed?
City of Flat Rock Police Officer.
How long have you been so employed?
This will be my fourth year come June.
Were you an officer anywhere else?
Yes, sir.
Where?
City of Detroit.
How long?
Just shy of 6 years.
Okay, and taking your attention back to January 7th, 2026, 10:22 p.m. Telegraph Road at Gibraltar, in the city of Flat Rock. What were you doing at that time?
On general patrol.
Did you see anything that drew your attention?
Yes. Yes.
And what was that?
I saw a pickup truck driving northbound on Telegraph.
Where were you?
I was also in the area of Telegraph and would have been at Water.
This isn't just another routine traffic stop. It's a courtroom clash where every detail matters. A late-night patrol, a suspected drunk driver, and a police officer whose story starts to shift under pressure. What began as a simple lane violation quickly turns into a battle over credibility, consistency, and constitutional rights. Did the officer have a legitimate reason to stop the vehicle, or are the cracks in his testimony enough to unravel the entire case? As we break this down, pay close attention to the timeline, the wording, and the contradictions. Because in court, even the smallest inconsistency can change everything. Let's dive in.
In what direction were you traveling?
I was traveling northbound.
And this vehicle that you saw, this 2022 pickup truck, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where was it in relation to where you were?
It was right.
It was what?
It was directly in front of me.
Okay, what did you observe at that date and time?
I saw the vehicle swerve over the lane marker without using the turn signal.
Okay, and what did you do after that?
I began to follow the vehicle.
How far did you follow the vehicle?
So I followed it from where I was where we were on Telegraph to Gibraltar. Vehicle turned on Gibraltar. I caught up with it.
Which way did the vehicle turn on Gibraltar?
From Telegraph would have been eastbound on Gibraltar.
That's a right turn.
Correct.
Did you observe anything at that time during the turn?
Wouldn't have seen anything during the turn.
Okay, did you see anything after the turn?
After we got to Gibraltar, yes, I continued to follow the vehicle.
What did you see?
Witnessed the vehicle again cross over the lane marker lines several times.
Several times?
Would have more than once for sure.
What did you see? What did you do there?
Well, after following so long and seeing so many different instances, in traffic stop somewhere in the area of Gibraltar, Mayfair.
Okay, so starting from the point where you first saw this vehicle, where you pulled the vehicle over, how far did you travel?
My vehicle's odometer would have been about 1.25 miles.
One what?
1.25 miles.
1.25 miles. Okay. What did you do next?
I made contact with the driver.
You see that driver here?
Yes, I did.
Can you point her out?
It's the young lady sitting behind you.
Let's find the defendant for the record. John.
Records should so reflect.
What did you do next?
Well, at that point, I began to initiate the normal procedures of any traffic stop.
Such as?
Made contact with the driver, explained who I am and what the stop's for, things like that.
What happened next?
I'm gonna have to recall.
What did you do next?
I initiated a standardized field sobriety test after the driver, I believe, if I'm calling correctly, I believe she told me she had a few drinks shortly prior to driving.
Okay.
If I recall correct.
Did you administer these tests?
Yes, I did.
Did there come a point where another officer arrived on scene?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Was Corporal Goldsmith and another officer, I believe, would have been Officer Miles.
Okay. Did anything happen when they arrived?
No, no, I mean, they helped me with, because the defendant had her child in the car. So,
Wait, I'm sorry.
the
It's
defendant,
really hard to understand you with that mask. You're gonna
I'm sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm trying to keep the mask.
Okay, hold on. Slow down and speak more clearly, please.
How about this? Since I'm not near you,
That's good.
okay, all right.
So, when these officers arrived, what happened next?
At that point, after the officers had gotten there, I was already conducting my field sobriety test.
Okay,
We had made the determination, I made the determination that the defendant had been driving under the influence, placed under arrest. And at that time, Corporal Goldsmith and I had a conversation along with Officer Manley about what to do with her child. Because she was in the car with her.
It's not part of the, not part of the motion, you see the scope of the motion regarding the child. There's really no point to have that in there. No problem with,
I mean, I don't have any problem striking that for you.
I mean, Judge,
I'll strike that portion, but you, at some point you had another conversation with regard to her telling one of the officers she was best friends with the Gibraltar chief of police, correct?
Correct.
So tell us about that. That's what I want to hear. That's,
Okay, right. So, Corporal Goldsmith told me after we got her stop car that this Lazinski is friends with the chief of police for Gibraltar.
this was after you placed her under arrest and put her in the scout car?
This is actually been placed in Scott County, yes.
Okay, so what happened then? So he says that she knows the chief of police. Did that phase you in any way?
Other than just the trivia of the fact.
Okay.
Friend with the chief of police for one of our neighboring departments.
Do you know? Okay, what does he do next, if anything?
I had explained to Officer Goldsmith, I gave him a very brief synopsis. Cliff notes, if you will,
Okay.
of what had happened and what I had observed. And then we continued on with the normal arrest procedures.
Okay, the field sobriety test, you determined that she did not pass them,
Correct.
and the PPT as well?
Correct.
Don't have any further stuff.
Cross?
Good afternoon.
Definitely.
Officer, as a result of this stop, you prepared a written report, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you complete that report same day or within hours of the stop? I know we're talking the stop is around 10 p.m., correct?
Tell me that right here.
So it would have been, you would have prepared that report that night into perhaps the early morning hours of the next day?
I'd have to see the exact date that I put on the report. It has a date and time on it, but that normally is how it goes, yes.
And when you prepare a report, would you intend that report to be accurate and complete?
Yes.
And that report would reflect everything that led up to, we're talking about this particular traffic stop, so your report would have included everything that led up to that traffic stop, correct?
Most cases, yes.
Do you recall, have you reviewed this report in preparation for tonight?
Yes.
So you're familiar with it? Correct.
Yes.
Do you recall what you stated in the report?
I mean, there's a whole police report, so we're gonna be a little bit more specific.
Okay.
And then I'd like to review the report if you're gonna ask a specific question about it. Yes.
May I present the report?
Sure.
Refresh the record?
Absolutely.
Just gonna ask that you review it and then when you're done, let me know.
Okay.
In particular, Officer Culture, I'm really was interested in the very first paragraph under the narrative on the second page.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Starts with on 1/7/26 and
Correct.
ends with May 3rd.
Okay. Then your question.
You can, okay, just do me a favor, don't testify directly reading from it. Fair enough?
Okay.
Okay, so according to your report, your observations of Ms. Luczynski began on northbound Telegraph, correct?
Correct.
And according to your report, your scout car was directly behind her car while traveling northbound Telegraph, correct?
Correct.
And you continued to be behind her, according to your report, as she made the turn onto Gibraltar Road, correct?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And again, according to your report, you observed her swerving on Telegraph, correct?
Would have been at least one time.
And according to your report, as she turned onto Gibraltar Road, your report says that she crossed over the solid double yellow lines two times or more, correct?
Correct.
And according to your report, you stopped her, effectuated your traffic stop after seeing these two crosses over the yellow line, according to your report, correct?
Correct.
On this date and time of the stop, you were also wearing a body cam, correct?
Correct.
And it recorded your interactions this night with Ms. Luczynski.
Correct.
Have you reviewed that footage?
Just the excerpt question.
You
I
have.
was made aware of the timestamp.
Okay. Okay, great. At some point in time, I think you testified a few moments ago, you were informed by one of your fellow officers that Ms. Luczynski was friends with the local police chief, correct?
Correct.
And the part that I'm thinking that you're saying that you reviewed on your body cam, do you remember your response to that statement?
Gas, I guess you said.
Okay. Do you recall saying, just so you guys know what I saw?
Yes.
And then you went on to tell your fellow officers what you observed, correct?
I want to make sure that clear what I was telling folks in the bulletin. Very brief summary synopsis.
I'm just asking if you told your fellow officers what you observed.
Yes.
And in fact, you said, quote, just so you guys know what I saw coming down Gibraltar when she turned from Telegraph. Does that sound accurate?
Right.
And when she turned from Telegraph onto Gibraltar, correct?
Is that a yes?
Yes. I'm sorry.
So, we'll remind you. And then you went on to say, I thought she looked like she was over the line. I couldn't really see it.
Yes.
Coming down Gibraltar, correct?
Yes.
So, in that statement, you did not, in the statement to your fellow officer, you did not say you saw her driving on Telegraph, correct? And that summation that we're talking about that was on the body cam, that you did not indicate to your fellow officers that you saw her on Telegraph.
I did not tell Corporal with the portion of her driving that I did see on Telegraph. No, I did not.
You did not state that she was directly in front of your scout car on Telegraph, correct?
Correct.
And you did not tell Officer Goldsmith?
Corporal Goldsmith.
Okay. That you observed the defendant swerving on Telegraph, correct?
Did not tell that to Corporal Goldsmith.
You did not tell the corporal that you followed her as she turned on to Gibraltar Road, correct?
That's what I was telling him, but where you're wording it just a little bit. You hear that different?
So your
Get
wording
a
doesn't.
clear answer.
Okay. And in fact, you said, I thought she looked like she was over the line. I couldn't really see it, correct? Is that a yes? So, in your written police report, you placed your first observation of the defendant on northbound Telegraph.
Correct.
But your comments to your fellow officer, you placed your first observation on Gibraltar Road as she's turning, correct?
That's what I told.
These are two different locations, you would agree? And your written and recorded statements describe two different sequences of events, you would agree?
Not quite.
Do they describe the exact same events? Yes or no?
The sequence of events I was counting to.
I'm just asking if you're.
I object, Judge. Let him answer the question.
Yeah,
She's
let him-
interrupting him before he gets.
Yeah, let him finish the answer. Go ahead and answer, sir.
The sequence I gave Corporal Goldsmith was all the way through the entire sequence of applications that I had made regarding the public.
So when you said, just so you guys know what I saw, it's your statement that you then just told an abbreviated version.
Giving him what would be an incomplete picture, or in your words, an abbreviated sequence. Very.
And then when you told Corporal Goldsmith that I thought it looked like she was over the line, I couldn't really see.
Mhm.
Is that, yes, you remember saying that?
I'm saying.
Is, that also was not stated in your written report, correct?
In the report, no.
In your written report, you say you saw her crossing over the solid double yellow lines an additional 2 times, correct?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
But yet when you were talking to your officer, your fellow officer, you said you couldn't really see her as she turned,
Can I explain?
correct?
Judge,
Well,
can I have
your
that?
lawyer, wait a minute, prosecutor can ask you a question.
Yes, yes, that's correct, that's what I said.
Okay.
May I?
No, let the
Okay.
prosecutor ask the question if
Okay.
you feel so inclined.
So your decision to stop her that night was based on you saying that you observed traffic violations, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically swerving and crossing on the yellow line, correct?
And the white lines. The lane markers are coming back from the building.
So would you agree that the timing and location of your observations as reported in your written report are important to justify a traffic stop?
What do you mean?
What you write in the report is the basis of your stop, correct?
Yeah.
And today, your report and the statement that we're talking about with your fellow officers do not match, correct?
I don't.
So you think you told your fellow officer exactly the same thing you had written in your report?
So if you review the body camera, as I did, just for this one exit that we're talking about, maybe a 30-second block of time, I'm not really sure, but I go on to tell Officer Goldsmith that, yes, I did lose contact of her car as she turned up to Gibraltar, and I was catching up to Gibraltar myself. But you can see on the edge of the frame, my hand is making this motion, meaning as we continue down Gibraltar, I saw her swerving over the lines again. George Goldsmith then finished my
Did
sentence.
another car get in between you and Mr. Chinsky's
I
car?
can't recall that.
In your report, you write directly in front of my scout car. She was, correct?
Mhm.
And
Is
that,
that a yes?
Yes, yes,
and that would be accurate, correct?
yes, that's my recollection.
Nothing from you.
Mr. Kaven?
Corporal Hunter, did you go through all the FSTs and inform Officer Goldsmith how she did on the FSTs?
I went to the SFST as trained.
Did you tell Officer Goldsmith the results of the FSTs as you performed?
If I recall correctly, he was there. So,
He was there.
yes,
So was he there for the BBT?
I recall, yes, he was.
He was, okay. So you wanted to explain your answer before about when you started to tell Corporal Goldsmith about the stop.
About the reason for the stop.
Okay, so what did you want to tell the court?
So, as I initially observed her on the telegraph, she being ahead of me turned on to Gibraltar.
Okay,
There was a period of seconds, some period of time when I lost the visual contact with her because I had to then turn on and touch Gibraltar myself.
right.
But once on Gibraltar, and this is what I use my scout pencil down to find later, there was almost a mile of roadway between Telegraph and eventually Mayfair on Gibraltar.
Okay.
For that distance, that's why I would have been behind us.
So when you say that you lost, well, it's like that. When she made the turn onto Gibraltar Road, you couldn't fully see whether or not she crossed the lines, but you thought she might have. Is that an accurate statement?
I couldn't see, yeah, correct.
Okay, so let's leave that one out of the picture. Did she cross the line before that point?
Yes.
Did she cross the line after that point? Any other questions?
Any other questions?
So your testimony a few moments ago was you lost sight of her vehicle for a few moments as the turn was occurring from Gibraltar, from Telegraph onto Gibraltar, correct?
Yes.
In your written report, would you agree with me that you wrote that Officer Hunter continued to follow the vehicle as it turned and traveled eastbound on the Gibraltar Road, crossing over the solid double yellow lines?
Yes.
So your report indicates that as it was turning, you observed her crossing over the lines?
So my report indicates that I continue to follow.
And you observed her as she turned, crossing over the lines, correct?
I believe my report indicates that.
Is your report accurate?
Can I read it, please? Can I read it just to make sure?
Well, do you need to read that to refresh your recollection?
Because I want to make sure that what I say matches what's in my report. And my report states that I was following her on Gibraltar when I made these observations. Just like I just told Prosecutor Kaylee, when she turned on Gibraltar ahead of me, I did not see her. Because I couldn't.
Did you state in your report anywhere that I'm not aware of that you lost contact with her, visual contact with
I did
her?
not state it.
But you felt it was important enough to tell Officer Goldsmith that you couldn't see her. You couldn't see whether or not she crossed over the line in your brief narrative to him.
Yes.
And in fact, you said to Officer Goldsmith, I thought she looked like she was over the line. I couldn't really see it, correct?
Yes.
So you felt it was an important part of the events that when you summarized, and your testimony is, you gave Officer Goldsmith a summary of the events. You felt that was important enough to say to Officer Goldsmith. Correct.
So she showed us.
But you didn't find it important enough to say you observed her swerving on Telegraph, correct?
We telling Officer Goldsmith or in the report?
When you told Officer Goldsmith.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about the video camera. If you look back at the body camera footage, you can see as we continue this brief conversation.
I'm not asking you about that. I'm asking you, when you told Officer Goldsmith, because your testimony was you gave him like a Reader's Digest version of what occurred.
If that's sure.
Like
I'm not feeling. I'm sorry.
A brief summary.
Very brief.
That's your testimony, correct? So your brief summary included something that was not in your police report,
Yes.
which was I lost sight of her. I couldn't really see as she turned going down if she crossed the double line.
Couldn't see as she turned on the ball.
And that was important for you to tell Officer Goldsmith.
Yes.
You thought it was an important moment in
I thought it
the
was
case.
I thought it was worth mentioning.
But you didn't think it was worth mentioning. Don't strike that. You did not mention to Officer Goldsmith that you observed the defendant driving on Telegraph and she swerved on Telegraph, correct?
I think it was worth mentioning there.
According to your police report, that was one of the basis of your stops. Swerving on Telegraph, correct?
Well, locality and circumstances was best for stop, yes. The swerve on Telegraph was my initial, we might call it yellow flag, that at least follow the car. Anybody can swerve over a lane, then she just still not talking about it. No.
But you didn't tell Officer Goldsmith about Telegraph, did you?
I think it was.
And in fact, you told Officer Goldsmith that you were coming down Gibraltar Road, correct?
Yes.
So you didn't think it was important to tell Officer Goldsmith you were even on telegraph.
Oh,
So after you found out that my client was friends with a local police chief, and I think you responded earlier, you testified and you said like, or oh, or something like that.
what is that?
And then you told Officer Goldsmith, just so you guys know what I saw. And you didn't mention telegraph, correct?
No, I didn't.
Nothing further.
You said in your report that you observed her cross over the solid double yellow lines while on Gibraltar Road
Yes.
twice, correct?
Yes.
How far was her vehicle from Telegraph at the time you observed her do that the first time?
So I'll be honest with you, the actual distance of that, I'm not sure, but Gibraltar has a continuous turning lane until you get to Evergreen, then it becomes the two solid yellow lines. So it would have been after Evergreen.
Okay. And then what about the second occasion in which the defendant crossed over the solid double yellow line?
Also, so again, that's what I'm saying. So between Evergreen and Mayfair is when it's a solid double. So somewhere in that distance is when
How far was your patrol vehicle between, behind the rear of Ms. Lazinski's vehicle when you approached Gibraltar Road off of Telegraph? When you were on Telegraph, let me rephrase that. When you were on Telegraph and her vehicle turned right onto Gibraltar Road, how far was your patrol vehicle from the rear of her vehicle at the time that she started to turn?
That's going to be very hard for me to kind of gauge the distance here. That's several yards. I mean, I remember that it took several seconds for me to catch up to visual contact with her vehicle. So I'm not sure, maybe if I say 2 to 3 car lengths, what the distance.
What did you mean when you said, I thought she looked like she was over the line? I really couldn't see it.
So from my vantage point on Telegraph, from my own scout car, you can see a vehicle turn. It's just in front of you. I couldn't gauge if from that particular vantage point, if her car was over the yellow line right there. But
Okay,
that makes sense.
but you're saying for sure it was over the double yellow line as it progressed further
Further
east down Gibraltar,
Further down
between Evergreen and Mayfair.
that's when it would have been. That's when it becomes solid double.
Any other questions?
No,
Any other questions?
No, you're,
You can step down. Thank you. Any other witnesses?
no, Judge.
Any witnesses?
no, you're.
Any argument?
Briefly, Judge.
Sure.
Your Honor, I mean, it's a very clear case to me. Corporal Hunter observed this F-350 crossing the yellow line. It was directly in front of him. He followed her, like he said, it's a yellow flag. When she made the turn, I think he's just being honest. I couldn't see whether or not she crossed the yellow line on the turn, the double yellow line on the turn, but to me, I don't think it matters. He continued to follow her. She crossed the double yellow line and made several lane infractions 2 more times after that. To me, Judge, it's very simple. He had reasonable articulable suspicion. He had probable cause to pull over and arrest her. He did everything. Field sobriety test, PBT, arrested her. Then there comes this nonsense about now somebody mentioned that she knows the chief of Gibraltar. The Corporal Hunter says, I don't even know, didn't face me one way or another. To doing my job, she was already arrested at that point. She was already in the scout car. Very simple for me, Judge. There was probable cause to arrest. There was reasonable suspicion. He did everything by the book. The motion should be denied. Thank you.
Briefly on. We have very conflicting statements here. The officer says he couldn't see, he just testified a few moments ago, he couldn't see the double yellow line. And then his report says the defendant crossed over the same double yellow line twice, and he testified that that was in his report. These are 2 different accounts of when he first observed and what observations he made. The officer said he couldn't really see, but his report says he could see, and she crossed over twice, he says. Not just once, he says twice, he testified. We all know our Constitution requires that there are specific articulable facts to establish reasonable suspicion for initiating a traffic stop. We don't have that here. This officer's given two different accounts of what occurred, where it occurred, and if the observation even occurred. In his narrative, he said he saw crossing over the double yellow line twice, and his body camera and his testimony says, well, he couldn't see. I was a couple car lines behind it. I don't really know. I couldn't see. So both of these accounts cannot be true. Something's not matching up here. These are not minor differences. These differences go specifically to where the officer claims he saw an infraction occur that gave rise to him to stop her vehicle. As a result of that stop, she has now been charged with a crime. You cannot rely on conflicting versions of what occurred and what gave rise to this suspicion to justify a seizure. Timing, location, swerving, seeing something, not seeing something, all very important aspects. And his testimony that he couldn't really see, and his report saying he saw it happen twice, and his testimony that his report is accurate.
Don't you think his testimony was just consistent with that, though? I think what he told me is he couldn't really see from telegraph whether she crossed over the lane marker as she was turning onto Gibraltar from where he was, but then he saw her do it twice over the double yellow lines on Gibraltar between Evergreen and Mayfair.
Never states in his narrative that he lost track of the vehicle, says that he saw her the whole time in his report, saw her cross over twice in his body cam video. He doesn't mention he's behind her on telegraph. In fact, he specifically says coming down Gibraltar when she turned, which places him on Gibraltar Road, not on Telegraph Road. There are many, many inconsistencies on that. And the body camera specifically says, just so you guys know what I saw, coming down Gibraltar when she turned from Telegraph onto Gibraltar. I thought she looked like she was over the line. I couldn't really see it. That's what, and he testified that that was accurate. We can't have two different stories. So that being said, it is the defense's position that they have not met their burden for reasonable suspicion. We would ask that the motion be granted and stop be found unlawful, and that any evidence obtained from that stop be suppressed.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, Judge, I agree with you 100%. I think he just picked up where he, after the turn, his testimony is totally consistent with everything that she just said. All the only point is that he started telling Goldsmith what he observed on Gibraltar Road. No, he didn't say, I observed her while I was driving on Telegraph Road, but that's what drives me crazy about these body cams. If everything isn't 100%, you know, this guy's just trying to tell the truth. I didn't believe she when she made the turn. To me, that's not relevant.
No,
He didn't consider that at the stop. She crossed the line before that and 2 times after that.
I don't disagree with you. I'm sorry, Ms. Acock. I mean, you did a really nice job on the brief and the motion, and I read it twice because it was intriguing, but I do think he was traveling behind her on Telegraph, going northbound. He observed her travel over the lane marker, and then I think he didn't see her, which would be consistent, whether or not she went over the middle lane marker as she was turning onto Gibraltar, but then I think he saw her twice crossing the double yellow lines on Gibraltar between Evergreen and Mayfair. So I'm sorry. I mean, I see your point. I read it twice, but I'm convinced that there was reasonable suspicion. He had every right to stop her, and then that there was probable cause to arrest. I'm going to deny your motion to suppress. Now, I don't know what you guys want to do, but I've either got to resolve this today or we've got to send out notices. Are you guys in a position to resolve this now?
Not right now.
Well, I'm not adjourning the jury, and I can only tell you, I'm not going to be a happy camper if somebody comes in. I got to send out the jury notices.
Well, I think my client's entitled to have a conversation with me based on your ruling today and not go out in the hall and spend 5 minutes. It's part of their life. So,
Well, all right, don't be wise about it.
No,
You could have been a little nicer about it. I appreciate the fact that you might be disappointed. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Don't come in that day or I'm not taking a plea to anything less other than charge. That's all I'm telling you about. There's no further pre-trials. I will not take a plea to less than OWI on the date of the jury trial. So if you resolve it before then, I'd appreciate it if you call. If not, just know I will not take less than OW on this charge.
It's not a
fine, Judge.
final trial, that's what we want.
It's up for May 14th. We're sending out the notices. I don't think he's got a final pretrial with me today or on this case before then, do you?
Next Thursday.
Well, wait a minute. May 14th is what day? That is a week.
That's in 2 weeks from today, Judge.
I'll pay the next Thursday anyway.
Is that in front of Judge Hessen
It
though?
is. Well, if you want.
I mean, look, here's the deal. You guys are big boys and girls. If you guys choose to resolve it, great.
Fine.
You can do it next Thursday. If you want me to set a final pretrial for 8:15, I will do that for next Thursday. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and I'll just have them send out the notice and that's fine. May 7th, we'll make it at 8:15. So you guys show
In
up.
front of Your Honor or Judge Hessen?
No, that's her docket, but I'm handling it.
so if you don't mind, can we do 8:30 in front of you?
I don't care, but I don't want to interfere with her docket.
You won't do 8:30.
Okay, so 8:30 in the morning, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you both.
By Zoom, correct, Your Honor?
What's that?
Would that be by Zoom, for the
She do it by
the
Zoom.
final?
I don't care if your client's in there with, I don't have a problem.
Thank you, I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
But if not, we gotta have jury instructions due by the 10th.
That's fine.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have that, a sword file?
I don't think so. I think.
I need
you
to
gotta
put this
it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this down.
And there you have it. The judge ultimately sides with the prosecution, ruling that despite the inconsistencies, there was still enough reasonable suspicion to justify the traffic stop and probable cause for the arrest. This highlights a crucial reality in the legal system. Not every inconsistency is fatal to a case. Courts often look at the totality of the circumstances rather than isolating one contradiction. Here, the judge believed the officer's overall account held up, even if parts of it weren't perfectly aligned. But it does leave an important question. Where should the line be drawn between human error and unreliable testimony? Let me know what you think. Did the judge get it right, or should those inconsistencies have changed the outcome? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.